Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the second pillar, which I'm going to call direct response marketing. Okay, so this is, if we're going back to the previous video, this is talking about that top 3%. Okay, people who are hungry and searching for a solution to their problem right now. So they're planning a private event and they're actively hunting for a venue. How do we play within this top 3% to generate business? Because Daniel, I get that we have to have a marketing ecosystem, but what if I need to generate leads and inquiries for my business today? How do I get the short-term, quick result? Okay, I'm gonna break that down for you. But direct response marketing is not something that you can solely rely on for the long term, because it's not really healthy. It's not gonna build up a strong business, right? You can use it as a tool, but it's paired very nicely and really scales well if you pair it with having a good marketing ecosystem and a strong brand. Okay, brand not being like your logo or the colors of your website or the signage you use, but more the brand perception that people in your local area have about your venue. If you have a strong brand perception and direct response marketing, you can scale the direct response marketing very well. For instance, if we work with a new venue and we implement some direct response marketing, nobody knows who they are. They're very fresh, so any direct response marketing results you get is nowhere near as the direct response results that you would get from an established brand, because you're putting a marketing message in front of a target local customer that has no association with the brand. Vice versa, if you do direct response marketing and you have a marketing message put in front of a market which does have an association with you, and it's a positive association, the results you get from direct response are going to be far, far greater. Hence, direct response marketing is very closely tied from a results perspective on how good of a business you are. Takes us back to one of the fundamental pillars that I broke down earlier. The better the business, the better the brand awareness that you have, the better the direct response marketing results you're going to get are, fundamentally, because people know who you are. Okay, but with that being said, how do I generate leads, inquiries, and sales for my business today? Okay, you need to use what we call a sales funnel. And a sales funnel, as some people say, is going from cold all the way to sold. I heard this in a video yesterday and I quite like the way it explains it. But it's taking someone who might know who you are, or maybe they don't know who you are, through a marketing and sales process to the point of them buying something from you. Okay, I'll explain how you do it. I'll jump into the computer and I'll break down the elements. Okay, so let's call this a direct response. Let's say system. Okay, so there is, if we're going to draw a line, we'll probably have this line as sort of like marketing, and then sort of the rest of the process is going to be sales. Okay, there is a lot of crossover between marketing and sales in a direct response system. I don't want to get too dialed in on this, but essentially I'll highlight the key steps. So the first step is you're going to want to run some form of advertising. So you might have an offer. Okay, what works very well for most local markets is free venue hire. Okay, so that's sort of the hook into the market, and you might want to run advertising on Facebook or Instagram, or you might even be running some paid ads on Google. Maybe you're running ads on TikTok. But what we see the best results, the most consistent results, the most developed online marketing advertising channel is Instagram and Facebook. There's what is it, 2.5 billion.
A third of the population uses Facebook every day.
1/3 of human beings use a Facebook product every day or every week, something along those lines. Monstrous, okay? I don't want to hear my target customers aren't on Instagram or Facebook. I can guarantee you that they are. You're just not good enough to know how to reach them. That's the problem. We hear that quite a lot. So if you have that belief or anything in your head like that, wrong, okay? Wrong. Facebook and Instagram is the easiest and the cheapest way to get in front of a target customer through a paid channel. Okay, so let's run some Facebook and Instagram ads promoting what we do with some sort of offer. As I said, free venue hire. What they're going to do once they click on the ad, we want to generate, we want to capture some information from them. Okay, so that's going to take us to the next step where we get their email, we want to get their phone number, and we obviously want their name. Okay, so you can do this in a lot of ways. You might want to do this on your website. You might take them to a form in which they have to fill out. You might send them directly to a page where they can schedule in a time to have a chat with you. Also in this step, we might also want to get some info about the type of event they're planning, how many people, what dates are they looking at, okay? So again, let's say a lead capture portion of the funnel where we get what we would call a lead. Basic information about a human being who has sort of raised their hand and is a little bit interested in what we're talking about on the advertising that they engage with, okay? Step one, step two. Next, you can do this in a lot of ways as well, but next you probably want to have a call with them, okay? So I would avoid having email back and forth. Email, there's not enough buy-in from the prospect. It's too easy for them to ghost you. I would say the simplest, best step once you get a lead from any advertising you're doing is to get them on the phone, okay? Have a short, we call them a discovery call, okay? Have a discovery call with the prospect. I might write that here. Yep. Discovery call, okay? And this is usually a 10-minute conversation, okay? And discovery calls are good because you can have the same conversation over and over and over and over and over and over with different prospects, but from what you're saying and the mission behind the discovery call remains the same. Hence, you can get very good at having discovery calls. Ultimately, we want to figure out if the event that this person is planning, birthday party, baby shower, corporate event, the size, the date that they're looking for, is something that our business can actually deliver on. If it is something that we can deliver on, what we typically want to do and what the safest sales process to take someone through is arrange a time for them to come into the venue, okay? So we want to invite them in to come in and have a look at the space. Because once they're in the space, they get to see the space, they get to feel the vibe and see if what we're doing and what we offer is a good fit for them. So you would pitch what we call an in-person viewing, and it's a very low barrier to entry pitch. We're not asking them to do a transaction with us. Essentially, we're saying, hey, let's come in, arrange a time to come in. You can meet me. My name is Daniel. I'm in charge of functions here at ABC Venue. Come in and meet me. I'll show you around the venue, present some different options, and then if you like what we're doing here, we can talk about potentially getting your date reserved. However, if it's not what you're looking for, at least you now will get some clarity on what you want and what you don't want. Would you be keen to come in and arrange a time to check the space out? Most likely, if you pitch it correctly, you will. They'll say, yes, I am keen, okay? Then we need to make sure that they show up. We want to send them some reminders. Maybe we give them a call the morning of to say, hey, Rebecca, Daniel here from ABC Venues. I've got us booked in my calendar at 11 a.m. Just wanted to check in to make sure you're still on time for that meeting. She'll be like, yep, I'll be there. Cool, okay? Next step, we want to have the in-person. Okay, so this is an in-person viewing where we're going to actually meet the prospect, show them around the venue, but we can use some slight sales strategy here. Maybe we always offer them a coffee. Maybe if we're going to sit down, we sit down at the best seat within the venue because these little things help move us closer to a buying decision within the prospect's mind and position us as the option that they're interested or they're wanting, okay? So we're now sort of moving into the sales portion of this direct response system. First bit is more marketing. This bit is now more sales, okay? Now, if the time is appropriate and you feel it and it's a good fit for what you can do and what they're looking for, go for the close, okay? So be like, cool, Rebecca, think we can help you. Here's the different options. Can we get your date reserved? If she says yes, take the deposit, close the deal. If she says no, figure out why. It's like, no, I can't make a decision because I've got to talk to my dog or I've got to talk to my husband, whatever it may be. We're like, okay, no worries. Well, how about I tentatively reserve your date until you get clarity from whomever you need to get clarity from for 72 hours. And then if anyone else is interested in the space, I'll ward them away and say, no, sorry, this date's tentatively reserved for Rebecca. She's having her 30th. And I'm going to hold that for you for 72 hours. So then you can go talk to them, after this meeting or tomorrow morning. And I'll give you a call tomorrow, Rebecca, and see how the conversation went and if we can turn that tentative into a full-fledged booking. And then we would process the payment for the deposit, which is $400 to lock in the date, whatever it may be. So you can either go for a close or a tentative close. So I'm just going to say close or tentative close. Or they would say, no, I'm not interested. This is not what I'm looking for. What you don't want is you don't want them to leave the meeting and then ghost you. Say, hey, I'll send you an email at some point in the future. It's too fluffy. It's a poor sales process. If you can serve them, it's your responsibility to close the deal because you can help them. You just need to let them know and instill confidence into them to make the decision to go with you. Okay, they have the money to spend. They want the results that you can deliver on. It's really your job to close the deal. And leaving it in their hands where life can happen, they could stub their toe, they could lose their cat, whatever it may be. You do not want them to say, hey, I'll get back to you. You do not ever want to, I'll get back to you. You want a close or a tentative close, meaning you have a commitment from them for a follow-up call with the intention of closing a deal. Okay. So from the in-person viewing, you can then go to a closed deal or a tentative close, or you could go to a no, I'm not interested. The avenue you never want to go is, hey, I'll get back to you. I'll digest this and I'll reach out when I'm ready. No, you don't want that. We're busy. We've got lots of people interested in what we do. We've got a long waiting list, and I know we can help you, Rebecca. I am happy to reserve this date for 72 hours, and how about we touch base tomorrow? You need to take more of an avenue like that, okay? So this is more of a direct response system. It's really starting from some social media ad campaigns, which are going to reach people who may know you or may not know you at all. But if you take them through a structured lead capture process and sales process, this is how you can take someone from cold to sold. Okay, it's a direct response marketing system. We do this for a lot of venues, but the biggest factor for success here is ultimately, what is your brand image like in the local marketplace? Because if you've got a good brand image, you're going to get lots of people engaging with the advertising and push lots of people through this system. If your brand image is not the best, you're going to get less people and less throughput. But I hope that made sense, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some discovery calls as links below this video. Okay, so you can listen to people within our team actually take discovery calls with live prospects, these 10-minute conversations, so you can figure out how to pitch an initial conversation into an in-person viewing. Okay, we'll chuck a couple of different ones there, and I'll also give you a discovery call script. So if you want to train up a staff member, you can give them this script, and then they're going to be able to know how to navigate discovery calls if you're going to implement a direct response system. Hope that makes sense, guys. In the next video, I'm going to be focusing more on sales and how you can really double down onto, I've touched on it briefly here, but how you can double down onto the sales process and close more deals. So hope that made sense. I'll see you in the next one, guys.